Princess Amara lived in a grand castle surrounded by lush gardens and towering trees. Despite her royal status, Amara was known for her adventurous spirit and love of exploration. One day, while wandering through the castle grounds, she came across a magnificent treehouse nestled high in the branches of a towering oak tree. Excited by the discovery, Amara decided to climb up to the treehouse. With her heart pounding with excitement, she grasped the sturdy branches and began her ascent. Despite the height and the rustling leaves, Amara's determination drove her forward. As she reached the top, Amara was greeted by a breathtaking view of the castle grounds. She could see the rolling hills in the distance and the shimmering river that wound its way through the valley. Amara felt a sense of freedom and exhilaration like never before. Exploring the treehouse, Amara found a small chest filled with treasures, old books, a map of the kingdom, and a telescope. She spent hours reading, dreaming, and gazing at the stars through the telescope. As the sun began to set, Amara knew she had to return to the castle. With a sense of reluctance, she climbed down from the treehouse and made her way back home. But the memory of her treehouse adventure stayed with her, filling her with a sense of wonder and joy. From that day on, whenever she needed a moment of peace and solitude, Princess Amara would visit her treehouse. It became her secret sanctuary, a place where she could be free to be herself and explore the world around her. And though she was a princess, Amara cherished her treehouse adventures above all else. Princess Amara would like you to subscribe our Ritzy Lucy channel. Princess Amara lived in a grand castle surrounded by lush gardens and towering trees. Despite her royal status, Amara was known for her adventurous spirit and love of exploration. One day, while wandering through the castle grounds, she came across a magnificent treehouse nestled high in the branches of a towering oak tree. Excited by the discovery, Amara decided to climb up to the treehouse. With her heart pounding with excitement, she grasped the sturdy branches and began her ascent. Despite the height and the rustling leaves, Amara's determination drove her forward. As she reached the top, Amara was greeted by a breathtaking view of the castle grounds. She could see the rolling hills in the distance and the shimmering river that wound its way through the valley. Amara felt a sense of freedom and exhilaration like never before. Exploring the treehouse, Amara found a small chest filled with treasures, old books, a map of the kingdom, and a telescope. She spent hours reading, dreaming, and gazing at the stars through the telescope. As the sun began to set, Amara knew she had to return to the castle. With a sense of reluctance, she climbed down from the treehouse and made her way back home. But the memory of her treehouse adventure stayed with her, filling her with a sense of wonder and joy. From that day on, whenever she needed a moment of peace and solitude, Princess Amara would visit her treehouse. It became her secret sanctuary, a place where she could be free to be herself and explore the world around her. And though she was a princess, Amara cherished her treehouse adventures above all else. Princess Amara would like you to subscribe our Ritzy Lucy channel. In the kingdom of Elysium, nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there lay a small village known for its warmth and hospitality. But one fateful night, a mysterious illness descended upon the village, causing its inhabitants to fall into a deep slumber from which they could not awaken. News of the sleeping village reached Princess Juno's ears, and she knew she had to investigate. Donning her red robe, she set out with a determined heart to uncover the source of the curse. As Princess Juno arrived at the village, she found it eerily silent, with not a soul stirring. She walked through the deserted streets, her red robe glowing faintly in the moonlight. Using its power, she searched for clues, and soon discovered an ancient artifact hidden beneath the village square. The artifact, a small, intricately carved figurine, emanated a dark, malevolent energy. Princess Juno knew at once that this was the source of the curse. With a steady hand, she lifted her sword and struck the artifact, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. As the artifact crumbled, a wave of light washed over the village, and one by one, the villagers began to stir. Slowly, they awoke from their slumber, blinking in confusion at the sight of Princess Juno standing before them. The curse was broken, and the village was saved. The grateful villagers gathered around Princess Juno, thanking her for her bravery and quick thinking. With a smile, Princess Juno bid them farewell, knowing that her red robe had once again helped her bring light to the darkness. Princess Juno would like you to subscribe our Ritzy Lucy channel. In the kingdom of Elysium, nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there lay a small village known for its warmth and hospitality. But one fateful night, a mysterious illness descended upon the village, causing its inhabitants to fall into a deep slumber from which they could not awaken. News of the sleeping village reached Princess Juno's ears, and she knew she had to investigate. Donning her red robe, she set out with a determined heart to uncover the source of the curse. As Princess Juno arrived at the village, she found it eerily silent, with not a soul stirring. She walked through the deserted streets, her red robe glowing faintly in the moonlight. Using its power, she searched for clues, and soon discovered an ancient artifact hidden beneath the village square. The artifact, a small, intricately carved figurine, emanated a dark, malevolent energy. Princess Juno knew at once that this was the source of the curse. With a steady hand, she lifted her sword and struck the artifact, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. As the artifact crumbled, a wave of light washed over the village, and one by one, the villagers began to stir. Slowly, they awoke from their slumber, blinking in confusion at the sight of Princess Juno standing before them. The curse was broken, and the village was saved. The grateful villagers gathered around Princess Juno, thanking her for her bravery and quick thinking. With a smile, Princess Juno bid them farewell, knowing that her red robe had once again helped her bring light to the darkness. Princess Juno would like you to subscribe our Ritzy Lucy channel. In the kingdom of Eldoria, Princess Alara was known for her beauty, kindness, and adventurous spirit. However, her life took a dark turn when she was captured by the evil sorcerer Malakar, who imprisoned her in a tower deep within his fortress. For years, Alara languished in her prison, her only companions the cold stone walls and the distant sounds of the outside world. Despite her captivity, Alara never lost hope. She spent her days reading books, practicing her swordplay, and dreaming of the day she would be free. Meanwhile, the people of Eldoria never forgot their beloved princess. They whispered of prophecies foretelling her rescue and prayed for her safe return. One day, a brave knight named Sir Aldrich heard of Princess Alara's plight. Determined to free her, he embarked on a perilous journey to Malakar's fortress. Battling through hordes of monsters and overcoming deadly traps, Sir Aldrich finally reached the tower where Alara was imprisoned. Using all his skill and strength, Sir Aldrich broke down the door to Alara's tower and freed her from her chains. Alara was overjoyed to see her rescuer and thanked him profusely for his bravery. Together, Alara and Sir Aldrich fought their way out of the fortress, facing down Malakar himself in a final, epic battle. With a mighty blow, Sir Aldrich defeated the sorcerer, freeing Eldoria from his tyranny. The people of Eldoria rejoiced at the return of their princess, and Alara was hailed as a hero for her courage and resilience. She and Sir Aldrich were wed in a grand ceremony, and they ruled the kingdom together, bringing peace and prosperity to the land. And though she had been a captive princess, Alara's spirit remained unbroken, a shining example of strength and determination in the face of adversity. Princess Alara would like you to subscribe our Ritzy Lucy channel. In the kingdom of Eldoria, Princess Alara was known for her beauty, kindness, and adventurous spirit. However, her life took a dark turn when she was captured by the evil sorcerer Malakar, who imprisoned her in a tower deep within his fortress. For years, Alara languished in her prison, her only companions the cold stone walls and the distant sounds of the outside world. Despite her captivity, Alara never lost hope. She spent her days reading books, practicing her swordplay, and dreaming of the day she would be free. Meanwhile, the people of Eldoria never forgot their beloved princess. They whispered of prophecies foretelling her rescue and prayed for her safe return. One day, a brave knight named Sir Aldrich heard of Princess Alara's plight. Determined to free her, he embarked on a perilous journey to Malakar's fortress. Battling through hordes of monsters and overcoming deadly traps, Sir Aldrich finally reached the tower where Alara was imprisoned. Using all his skill and strength, Sir Aldrich broke down the door to Alara's tower and freed her from her chains. Alara was overjoyed to see her rescuer and thanked him profusely for his bravery. Together, Alara and Sir Aldrich fought their way out of the fortress, facing down Malachar himself in a final, epic battle. With a mighty blow, Sir Aldrich defeated the sorcerer, freeing Eldoria from his tyranny. The people of Eldoria rejoiced at the return of their princess, and Alara was hailed as a hero for her courage and resilience. She and Sir Aldrich were wed in a grand ceremony, and they ruled the kingdom together, bringing peace and prosperity to the land. And though she had been a captive princess, Alara's spirit remained unbroken, a shining example of strength and determination in the face of adversity. Princess Alara would like you to subscribe our Ritzy Lucy channel. Princess Elizabeth was known throughout the kingdom for her exceptional kindness. She spent her days visiting the villagers, helping those in need, and spreading joy wherever she went. One day, while walking through the village square, Elizabeth came across a group of children playing near a fountain. As she approached, Elizabeth noticed that one of the children, a little girl named Mancy, was sitting alone and crying. Concerned, Elizabeth knelt down beside Mancy and asked her what was wrong. Through her tears, Mancy explained that she had lost her favorite toy, a small wooden doll that she had carried with her everywhere. Determined to help, Elizabeth gathered the other children, and together they searched the village square, looking for Mancy's lost doll. After a thorough search, Elizabeth spotted the doll lying under a bench. She picked it up and handed it to Mancy, who was overjoyed. Grateful for Elizabeth's kindness, Mancy hugged the princess tightly. Elizabeth smiled, her heart filled with happiness at having helped a friend in need. From that day on, Elizabeth was known as the kind princess, beloved by all in the kingdom for her compassionate heart and generous spirit. Princess Elizabeth would like you to subscribe our Ritzy Lucy channel. Princess Elizabeth was known throughout the kingdom for her exceptional kindness. She spent her days visiting the villagers, helping those in need, and spreading joy wherever she went. One day, while walking through the village square, Elizabeth came across a group of children playing near a fountain. As she approached, Elizabeth noticed that one of the children, a little girl named Mancy, was sitting alone and crying. Concerned, Elizabeth knelt down beside Mancy and asked her what was wrong. Through her tears, Mancy explained that she had lost her favorite toy, a small wooden doll that she had carried with her everywhere. Determined to help, Elizabeth gathered the other children, and together they searched the village square, looking for Mancy's lost doll. After a thorough search, Elizabeth spotted the doll lying under a bench. She picked it up and handed it to Mancy, who was overjoyed. Grateful for Elizabeth's kindness, Mancy hugged the princess tightly. Elizabeth smiled, her heart filled with happiness at having helped a friend in need. From that day on, Elizabeth was known as the kind princess, beloved by all in the kingdom for her compassionate heart and generous spirit. Princess Elizabeth would like you to subscribe our Ritzy Lucy channel.